Person up is Jameson.
Good evening. My name is Jim Hingley. I'm a city resident. I'm here tonight to ask City Council to rename Emancipation Park as Swanson Legacy Park. I know you are familiar with the story of Gregory Swanson, who in 1950, as an African American, applied for admission to the University of Virginia Law School. The law school faculty denied Mr. Swanson admission, let me get that straight. The law school faculty agreed to admit Mr. Swanson to the law school. It was the Board of Visitors that denied his application to the law school. Because the Board of Visitors denied his application, Mr. Swanson went to court to compel the Board of Visitors to admit him to the University of Virginia. This court proceeding took place here in Charlottesville, and the courthouse at that time was in the Jefferson Madison Regional Library, downtown branch on East Market Street, which, as you all know, is immediately adjacent to what was in 1950 named Lee Park. Following the court proceeding, the lawyers and Mr. Swanson, who had won a monumental civil rights victory compelling the University of Virginia to admit Mr. Swanson, left the courtroom and walked across the street to Lee Park. And they celebrated their victory in court in Lee Park. I have a picture which is circulating on council's dais. This is a picture of Mr. Swanson and his lawyers and other civil rights activists who were there at the time, gathered on the low wall, which is on the 2nd Street side of Lee Park. Among those who represented Mr. Swanson in court were Thurgood Marshall, who was pictured here, Oliver Hill, Mr. Swanson next to him, and Spotswood Robinson. These are all nationally acclaimed lawyers. They were all working with the NAACP in a coordinated strategy at that time to open up opportunities for African Americans in transportation, voting, housing, and education. This case was a monumental case. It was a case that led directly to the Brown versus Board of Education case. This is a case that occurred in Charlottesville. It occurred in the courtroom in Charlottesville, the federal courtroom, and it occurred actually on the space that was then known in 1950 as Lee Park. Please honor these connections to Charlottesville and have Emancipation Park renamed as Swanson Legacy Park. Thank you.
All right, thank you.